Begin. Fateful Adventure, special summoning, our Terratop, which also could be used in Infernoble. A lot of people are not liking it though. It is able to make the Invoker rank 3 exceed, then summon from the deck. We're going to be maxing before they special summon the Take Tomborg. Very well done. We are now grabbing the Illusion of Chaos, which will grab the Magician of Souls, which will send up to 2 spell and trap cards to draw 2. How do we deal with non-target destroy? We could pop equip cards, we could pop the museum. What's crazy about the museum is it's not hard once per turn. If you have 3 copies of museum, you could activate all 3, you could search 3, you could summon 3. So the more the better. And the core combo searches a museum. So if you open up a museum, you at least are gonna have 2. All right. Museum, search for an equip card here. We got the Durendal. It now has the effect to summon a monster from the back row. Durendal will be activating the hard once per turn to search, which the DPE could pop it, then you don't search and another copy of Durendal will not work. Now, because you equipped it on the DPE, DPE could chain pop itself plus the field spell. You lose Durendal, you don't search, you lose the field spell. I think that, no, we didn't do it. We didn't, oh boy. Okay. Special summon if we control no monsters. Joy use, as we now summon our Oliver. That was a normal summon. Okay, we got our normal summon here. Isold is here. Now the main effect is an ignition effect, which means you could disrupt it with the DPE before it activates. We're going to be using the Joy use to special summon from the hand, the Ricardetto. We are popping the Isold before it activates, but we could just make another Isold. We're gonna use the museum to reborn the Oliver from the back row after equipping it onto a monster to make our second copy of Isold. I told you, this is it. Send from the deck 4 cards to summon a level 4. Ogier on summons gonna send a Turpin from the deck to the grave. Bamboo Sword, because we don't have Phoenix Blade, is gonna be searching for a Bamboo Sword to equip onto our monster. Now, there's gonna be an important play here that I'll teach you what to do. First, we're gonna be equipping onto the Ogier, special summon the Turpin, rank 4 exceed into the Artorigus, which requires noble name monsters to make. Can equip any number of noble arm cards in the graveyard. We can pop up to 2 back row cards in the field, wiping out the back row completely. Did not chain. Well, it's non-target pop, so I guess we kind of did not know that. We were waiting for our Elixir to be selected, but it's too late. Damn. Wait, we're ending our turn? We're under max C or something? Did I miss what's going on? Why are we not further cooking? I think it potentially could have been a mistake to make the Artorigus. What would you do? You would do instead is, with the Isold and another monster, keep the level 4 non-tuner, you would make a Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess would then reborn from the graveyard Ricardetto. Ricardetto and the level 4 would then make the Princess, and then you'd pop off from there. Because I don't know really what's up with this ending field. This is not good. Activating to reborn during the next turn. Field spell locked, that is correct. By using Ricardetto or the Museum, that locks you in a warrior only. So you do have to consider that. The main goal of the deck is getting a level 1 tuner and a level 4 non-tuner for the Angelica. Now, if you have a weird hand, you can have the Fire Flint Lady plus an Oliver for another way to make that play. But then you got to be wary about the field spell and the Ricardetto locking you in a warrior only. Thus, you cannot make cards like, can't make Apollo USA, you can't make Promethean Princess, which could be very important for reborning from the grave. Max C, we chaining. So I know a lot of you are saying he could not have done it. Not to like coach this player knows what they're doing, but you would hold on the museum. You could then make the Promethean Princess first, reborn from the graveyard, and then you could equip, then special summon, all while you have Promethean Princess, then we could have done the full combo. Just saying. But we valued pop in the back row instead. So we could have made the play I'm saying, just we would have had to do it differently. Call by the Grave, fingering the DPE. It still must summon a monster from the graveyard. We are under max C again. There's the Fire Flint Lady. Grabbing our Rite of Air Izmir. Are the adventure cards ever going to get unlimited? What is this? This is a link for Apollo USA, not the alternative art. You get minus points for that. Take Tomborg could special summon if you have an Apollo. I got to write that down. Control a wind monster special summon. I'm thinking just Speedroid, you could summon this. All under max C, by the way. We're special summoning a Malicious from the deck, reborning the Denier. Now we have 7 cards in the hand, returning the Malicious back in the deck. Now we could link off with it, then reborn it back from the grave again. or I should say summon the one from the deck, discard on summon, spin a card in the field back into the deck. Infernoble has no disruption. There's nothing here. Nothing. Nada. So we might as well just go for it. The Apollo is dealing with the hand traps. If we were to be getting a Beerroot or something like that, we're going to link off the token into a Link Spider, turning it into an effect monster. Now that it's an effect monster, we could have still made the Dagda with the token. We're just filling up the graveyard with the Link so that we could have a massive access code talker, being able to destroy the entire field. 5,300, goodbye Spider, taking out the Durandal. Again, banish a dark. It's different attribute per banish to destroy that many cards in the field. We are now banished from the grave light. Wipe out the field. Not enough to take out the I Sold, but we still have lethal damage. Exactly, not exactly, but 100 from lethal with the Apollo USA. Very well done. Take the Maxi Challenge. What are you afraid of? In most circumstances, if you take Maxi Challenge, you have to think, can I win through an Ash? I think if you could win through an Ash, you generally take the Maxi Challenge. I know Nibiru is a card. Not everyone's playing it. It's not as popular. I would pretty much always take it if we could win through an Ash. Very well done. Let's hop into game 2. So we're first going to play into a potential Ash first by searching for a Renaud. Dolphin could look at the hand to rip an Ash, but we're not going to. You have to discard a card in order to do it. We're grabbing Oliver, which could special summon by discarding an equipped card or fire monster. Now we're looking at 1,000 attack. Does this have a larger reach of hand traps we could have discarded? Why do we do all that first? Now we're making the Ice Salt. So it's important to note that we have seen the entire hand. We don't have to compensate by going into an Apollo USA early. We could wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, full wombo combo. Write this down. If you can make an Ice Salt with Infernoble, this is what you do. Send 4 from the deck, making sure you send the Angelica Ring and the Bamboo Sword here. Bamboo Sword will search for the other Bamboo Sword, which we already used. So unfortunately, we do not have that. One, two, three, four, five. 5 disruptions. Let's go. Can we play through 5? We could negate that if we want Gear Freed, which would also destroy. We're not negating. Special summon. Are we going to negate the summoned monster? Cherubini will send from the deck as a cost, which will generally send the Water Enchantress. We're not using any more disruption. We have 6, actually. The Promethean Princess, I forgot about that crazy card. 6 disruptions, Promethean Princess on a special summon. Pop the card. Now, to play around Promethean Princess, you could set one of your cards in the back row, and then Benny states that if this card would be destroyed, you could send one other card you control instead. Yeah, so we could have played around that. 6 disruptions, now 5. Come forth, Promethean Princess, if we wanted to send one of the cards from our hand to the grave. Or disruption, Angelica Ring is going to negate the first spell resolving. We're going to use the Gear Freed for the monster negate. We still have 3 disruptions, spell and trap card negate, spell and trap card negate, and we could pop any card on the field. That's going to be a definite negate. Negate, negate, pop, mate. We weren't even done. We have only just begun taking this into game 3. Right of Erismir. Summon our Erismir adventure token onto the field here. We have Magician's Soul sending the illusion to cast to summon itself onto the field, triggering the Fateful Adventure, grabbing a Draco back, which we can now send to the graveyard to draw 1 card, send another card, draw 2. What do we have here? We have a lot. Negate anything. Negate a monster, and we have pop a card in the field, which we're going to be popping the Scythe to then summon and completely lock them out of the extra deck. And if you lock Infernoble out of the extra deck, I mean, they lose. Most decks lose. It's over. And we have no way to stop it. We can't stop the play. We have the Museum, so we waited for them to commit to a card to play around something like an Impermanence. Very nice. Pop in the Scythe plus the Museum. Reborn from the Grave, Artifact Scythe. Now, this then also plays into an Impermanence, but we have a negate for that Impermanence, and just like that, Even if you deal with the Scythe now, you destroy it by battle, you negate it afterward, it does not matter. You are not able to use the extra deck. The extra deck is completely turned off. Summoning from the hand, Renard, recycle an equip card or fire monster in the graveyard back to our hand, which we could have made some plays with the Fire Phoenix. Oh my gosh. The Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, even without the extra deck's a great card. It's a monster negate, plus it's a non-target equip a monster on the field at the start of the damage step. Very nicely done. And it being a damage step activation, that means cards that negate an effect and not the activation would not be able to chain in response to the Gearfried activating. And just like that, unfortunately, Infernoble is only able to win the game they were able to go first with. Let's hop into game number 1 of a new duel. We are going to be searching for our Rhymeheart with our field spell. Rhymeheart is a 1-card combo. We're going to summon our ball, pop our ball, activate our Rhymeheart, search in our deck for a Mannadium card. Now, what did we accomplish? Generally, I would think that one of the great benefits of playing Mannadium is having the reframing trap, which would be able to negate anything. And it looks like we could have searched that, but we didn't. We grabbed Obsidian instead, so it makes me wonder, are you not playing the trap? And I feel like not playing the trap would be a wild assumption here. But beyond that, we have triple monster negate, plus pop a monster in response to activation, plus negate anything. And those are the public disruptions. Can Shaddol, Snake Eyes Shaddol, okay. Wait, purely Shaddol Snake Eyes play around it. We even have room for Subversion, which could push one of the monsters on the field into the back row. Let's go. Okay, we're cooking. Vodka is cooking. Max C in the standby phase. We're going to call by the grave, which will likely get not negated by the Baron to floor. We are not going to be playing under that Max C. We're saving Baron to floor for something better. Okay, that's fine. Now, Subversion's gonna push a monster in the back row. What? We didn't activate the Baron to floor. We just, okay, fine, I'm gone. We're gonna discard the Shadow Beast, trigger its effect to draw a card because we discarded by card effect. And we chain link blocked. We blocked the Lily, which is searching the deck, so the Beast gets negated and not the Lily by the Apollo USA. Very well done. Also chain link blocking from the Dissipator. We have My Friend Purely, which is the perfect card to use your Ash Blossom on. Negate the effect to search for a Purely card. Where is the new Purely support at? Well, I kind of know where it's at, but, we'll talk about that another day. We have Relinquish Anima, which will be sucking up the Apollo USA. Apollo will be negating. And Relinquish Anima, I think it's a hard once return. Yes, it is. We can't just try to suck her up just continually. Goodbye to Apollo. We still have the activatable Dissipator in response to a monster effect. You activate a monster effect, it's going to pop you. Activate Azalea, Dissipator, chain, pop the Azalea. Target a card in the field, destroy it, then you would send this card to the grave. So even if you get rid of the Azalea, you still lose your Dissipator. Very well done. And we got nothing. After that, we have 0 disruptions. That turn 1 was successful. Arrival, reborn from the graveyard, our Rykart on summon, search our deck for an Arrival, which could activate again, reborning our Vsauce, linking off into the Scareclaw Lightheart, searching for probably our second and final copy of the field spell. Obsidian, oh, what the heck was that? Obsidian pops your card, and only if you pop it can you add a Mannadium card, but we protected our monster from being popped, so it did nothing. Well, did it do nothing? It got itself in the graveyard. Maybe we wanted it in the grave so we could banish it to summon a Vsauce Starfrost from the hand. Very interesting. I've never seen someone just get into the graveyard like that for the second effect. That's okay. All right. We are going to be Link 3ing after the Dark, stealing a Shadow Beast from the opponent's graveyard. Unicorn on summon would have discarded to spin a card in the field back of the deck if we wanted to. We have Vicious Ashloud, which on summon can destroy a monster on the field. Further linking this up into an access code talker, over 8,000 damage, lethal damage, all stemming from our great turn 1. Now, can Mannadium go second against purely Snake Eye Shaddol? Have to play against Nibiru. So we're on summon number 1, discard a card by cost, so the Squamata's not going to be activating. Setting up a wanted since we already have our Snake Eye original Sinful Spoils. Summoning our Ash. We're on summon number 2. On 5, our whole field gets tributed. There is a lot of Snake Eyes in your Purely deck. What? Are you like a 40-card deck, it looks like? What is this? How do we have room? Summon number 4, triggering the pop art, equipping the back row. And this is where we get into Nibiru territory. But would you Nibiru this? I would say it's wrong, because you will trigger the Flame Burst to reborn 2 monsters from the grave, so you'd have to wait. You would not want to Nibiru this. And then we don't even Nibiru at all. Now, Nibiru doesn't affect set monsters, and that's just quite interesting. We set up a situation where the opponent just shouldn't Nibiru. Okay, did not Nibiru. Did not want to Nibiru. We have Wanted Sinful, grabbing Diablo Star from the graveyard, which next turn the Wanted will be able to draw a card here. We have our Peaceful Planet Clear. I should comment on what are our disruptions, and nothing. There's nothing. We have nothing. This is nothing. That's nothing. This is nothing. That's also nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing in the hand, nothing in the field, nothing in the grave. We have nothing. We do have some recursion with the Flame Burst to reborn 2 level 1 fires if it's sent to the graveyard, but that will also lead into nothing. So what can Mannadium do against nothing? Hopefully win. Grabbing the Reimaginings, which is a draw 2, return 1 back in the deck. Very nice. We're going to be special summoning our Meek, pop the Meek, trigger the field spell, and the Meek to summon 1 pop, 2 balls. But we did not trigger the field spell here. We're waiting with it. We're now making Baron to floor. Baron to floor is going to be popping any card in the field, taking out the nothing back row, banishing from the graveyard to come forth and summon Vicious Astra Loud. On summon, pop a monster in the field, taking out our ball. So this is going to be the 1 pop, 2 balls, which we delayed it a bit until now. Very good. Summon from the deck, summon from the grave, level 4 from the deck. Remaking the Crimson. Crimson Dragon, finally! Mannadium is almost at full support. There's still more support from Mannadium that's unreleased. Making our Dissipator. Dissipator is here, reborning a banished monster back onto the field here. Everything can attack. We're not under any restrictions here. Lightheart's gonna be searching for our Scareclaw field spell, which will be grabbing the Reichheart, which will then be summoning behind the Lightheart, which was where we carefully positioned our Dissipator, our Baron to floor and ball to not be blocking our Lightheart. Using the field spell with 3 monsters on the field that are in defense, popping any card in the field, taking out the Anima. Now Trisukta can reborn a level 2 from the graveyard. Itself is a level 6 tuner. We're going to be linking this off into a cross sheet. We popped the Anima because it was in the extra monster zone where we wanted to cook with the cross sheet because we misplaced our Dissipator and our Baron to floor. One of them should have been over here, but that's okay. We corrected that with the field spell. Arrival reborning from the grave, our Reichheart, as we now, I guess we don't have enough for another Vicious Ashlow to trigger our cross sheep, so that doesn't really matter. Apollo USA triple monster negate. We can now negate the Flame Burst once it's sent to the grave to reborn 2 monsters on the grave. Now we make the Vicious Ashlow. Now we negate the Flame Burst from reborning 2 level 1s. Now the Squamata. If it's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can send a Shaddol from your deck to the grave, which could be a Shadow Beast, which could draw a card. Is really not going to be doing anything. If it's destroyed by battle, it does nothing. On flip, it has an effect, though. Target a monster on the field and destroy it. But Apollo could negate its damage step effect since she negates the activation. And just like that, with over 12,000 damage on the field, Mannadium was able to defeat a field of nothing. Vodka, I'm sorry, my friend. I wanted to see your deck cook. I think Crobat, in some ways, did let you cook a little bit. I want to see more. Vodka, if you have some good replays with your deck, convince me that I should play your deck for fun on the ladder. I want to see it. I want to see it. Okay, top tier Branded Despia bricking. We have Valor and Super Poly plus Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave could be used in many ways against Infernoble. It could be used in response to the Ricardo reborning. It could be used on the Turpin. It could be used on Promethean trying to reborn from the grave. Let's see what happens. I have Neospatian Connector, which would summon a Dolphin, which would rip a hand trap out of the opponent's hand, but Valor or Ash is the way to stop it. And are we done? We have Ricardo summon Turpin. Ricardo banish, summon the Turpin. Now we Isold it. Isold is here. We're going to on-summon Search. This is the effect you do not negate. Then the effect you negate is going to send 4 cards from the deck to the grave to summon from the deck Ogier. Ogier on summon would generally send a Turpin from the deck to the grave, which we already have in the grave. So we'll send something else. Bamboo Sword, searching for a broken Bamboo Sword when sent to the grave. Sending our Phoenix Gearfried. Bamboo Sword equipped onto the Ogier. Only then, with an equipped card in the field, we could summon the Turpin from the grave, which we did not use Call by the Grave on. Instead, we saved our Super Polymerization, fusing the field into a Garura. Damn. We were going to make our Torgus. Our Torgus would equip the Durendal and the Joyuse, search our deck, pop the back row. We had plays. Summon Albaz, did not discard to fuse with the Isolt. Instead, we're going into our Verte Anaconda. Banless predictions, we should probably do that, yes? Ash is going to be negating the Garura because Ash could not negate the Anaconda, copying the Ashable effect of Branded Fusion. Triple Tactics thrusting a Branded in white to our hand here. We're going to be maxing on Resolution as we saved our finger for that C. Negate. Now, since we activate the Max C within the activation window of the Droll and Lockbird, we're going to add that on top of it, but I don't think we even planned on further adding cards or drawing from the deck anyway. So Droll, no good. Now, you still have that non-activated Verte Anaconda. By activating the Anaconda, you're locked out of special summoning for the rest of the turn. So you want to cook as much as you can before the Anaconda activates. We have the untargetable Albion Sanctifier Dragon as we finally send that Branded Fusion from the deck to the grave to fusion summon into our non-target monster banished Mirror Jade. We got 6,000 damage on the field, not quite lethal, so we're not going to even use our Mirror Jade non-target monster banish since it would lock us out from using it on the next turn. We're just going to hold it. Hold it. Do we have any graveyard effects that are good? Well, the Albion Sanctifier is kind of like a DD Crow. If you were to activate a monster from the grave that would want to summon, it could chain summon that monster onto their field instead, kind of a, a way to disrupt. We don't got Turpin, we got nothing. Oh boy, we got Heritage. This also could special summon. Heritage could search for any noble card, grabbing our Museum. Museum could then search for a Durendal. Durendal could equip. Now, Mirror Jade could banish the monster that it's equipped onto, stopping the Durendal search right now. Nope, we're waiting. Sure, that's fine. Olivier can discard a fire monster or an equipped card to special summon. We're going to normal summon it instead. We're going to equip the Ogier onto the red layer Quantum, which the Museum would allow it to special summon onto the field. So the hard once return Ogier is no good, as we are now just giving up, suiciding our Olivier right into that Mirror Jade. Damn. We didn't have anything else to cook with. Was there anything we could have done? Okay, no, there really is not. You get an Olivier in the graveyard's good because then it could equip onto a monster you control, and then you could use the field spell to reborn it, but we had no monster to equip it onto because the red layer got banished. That's just what happens. Damn, damn, damn. Now, what do we have in our opening hand here? We have the Wanted Sinful Spoils. We have to play through just an Effect Veiler. All right, let's see if we can do it. Draw phasing the Wanted to play around a Droll and Lockbird. Very well done. Now we have our Heritage grabbing our Ogier. Ogier is probably the second best normal summon you could do here, as we send an Olivier from the deck to the graveyard to then equip onto the Ogier to then send to the grave to come forth and summon our Diablo Star. And just like that, we have a ton of disruptions. We have spell card resolves, it gets negated. Spell and trap card, negate. Spell and trap card, negate number 2. Monster, negate. It's about 4 disruptions plus the Roland equip onto the Charles, pop a card in the field. And the Promethean Princess will pop a monster on special summon. 6 disruptions that are public, not even counting the Maxi or Ash. We win. There's no way. There's no way. 6 disruptions, and you got to play under the Max C. Albion's going to draw a card, sending Retribution from the deck to the grave. Branded opening here. So there's a ruling we want to very carefully consider here. The Angelic Ring, let's read this. This states that negate the effect of your opponent's first spell that activates or that resolves. And the Charles negates the activation of a card. If I could see the card info originally, it states that you send a card to negate the activation. So if they activate a Branded Fusion, the mistake would be to Charles negate Branded Fusion. That's a mistake because it would add back, then activate again. You want to let the Angelic Ring be the card that negates the Branded Fusion. So we're going to protect the Angelic Ring from firing off, saving it for Branded Fusion. Negate the Branded Opening with Charles. We still have another spell and trap card negate. Okay. We're going to then have the TTT ready to negate. Retribution is being activated early. Okay, grabbing back the opening. Now, the problem with opening in Branded Fusion is this card can only be used once per turn. It doesn't say it can only be activated once per turn, so the activation being negated, you still used the card. Yes, that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Ruling lawyer logic. So you can't activate again. Does not work like Branded Fusion would have worked. Now, we're going to be sending Jerusalem to the graveyard for the Verte Anaconda, which will be triggering the Jerusalem to send a card on the field to the grave, which the Gearfried could negate. We are negating. Send an equip card. Negate. Now, Verte Anaconda does not have a Branded Fusion to copy from the deck, but we're going to chain equip Roland, trigger the effect of Charles, pop the Anaconda that doesn't even have a Branded Fusion to copy, wipe it out. We still have a spell and trap card negate. We still have a spell negate. Yeah, we just like, no point. What are we going to do? I guess we would have to hope that they would negate the activation of Branded Fusion so we could then add it back to then activate it again. And I think we maybe thought we could have done that with the Branded Opening, but for the reasoning that I mentioned earlier, not possible to do that. Let's go to game 3. Branded Opening in the draw phase to play around the Droll and Lockbird on summon, activating to grab our Branded Fusion, which we are saving our Ash for. There are multiple instances where we could have used Ash, but you save the Ash. Do not let them eat your Ash with the Alubird nor the opening. You are saving yourself for the Branded Fusion. Negate the effect. And even if you don't like the art of Ash, the animation, the custom animation, I need 3. Now, we have Museum, search our deck for an equip card. We got Durendal, which will equip onto any monster in the field to then search our deck for our fire monster. Discarding to summon our Diablo Star. Diablo Star setting up into the back. I think I have music playing. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. I got to be better about that. Ogier sending from the deck to the grave on summon the Phoenix. Equipping Durendal onto the Ogier, searching our deck for the Renaud. Renaud could special summon then, grab a fire or an equip card in the graveyard back to our hand. We are under Max C though. Can we lethal under Max C? But not against Super Poly. Yeah, I think we could, but Super Poly kind of screws things up here. Not that we were attempting something here. Garura is now going to be using both your monster to summon itself. And if Garura is sent to the graveyard, we'll be drawing 1. So our monster negate's gone, and we have nothing. We have nothing. We have not a nothing. Does this mean that Infernoble's bad? We were under Max C. We could have done so much more. We had the original Sinful Spoils, could have summoned a Ricardetto, could have then reborn from the grave. We could have made Isold. We could have gone into Angelica, into Roland, into Charles. Max C. We got Max C. I don't know what to say. Max C happened. And the Branded Fusion ate that Max C that we could have, ate the Ash that could have been used to negate the Max C. Damn. And this is where I talk about how Max C doesn't just benefit the turn 2 player. It obviously benefited the person going first. According to the 2023 World Champion Analytics, Max C increased the win rate for both turn 1 and turn 2 players about 10%, around 10% if they had it and they activated it. Damn. So turn 2, not having Max C, are you ready for this? Had about a 35% win rate at the World Championship. Going second with no Max C. I hope I'm not quoting that analytic wrong. We got to turn that into an article. So if they don't have Max C, they're going to lose. All right.